Welcome, class, to this week's module. We will be covering how we set up the CRJ 700 ethos for free play, and we'll be discussing CRM procedures. We'll be doing some FMS skills, learning how generally to use your free play on your iPad so that you can learn some new skills about how you fly the CRJ 700. So the first thing I need to have you do is go to your Canvas module for this week's lesson. Open up a document that's going to be titled Flight Document for Salina to Denver. Once you've got that opened up, it will look something like the document you see on the screen that's titled Domestic Dispatch Release 123 from Salina to Denver. Get that document opened up. Do not open it on your iPad. We'll be using your iPad for your free play today. And so once you get that document opened up on another computer screen, that'll be great. If you don't get it opened up, no big deal. I've got one already opened up that we can look at for the purposes of setting up your iPad for the free play. Next, what I want you to do is get your iPad up and running. Go to the CRJ 700 app. Click on that. Once you get the app opened up, sign in. And then we'll go to free play, which is the FMST free play button over to the left-hand side of your screen. Once you found that, click on it. Then go to where it says CRJ 700 FMST on the right-hand side and launch free play. And it will load up and give you the version of the 700 CRJ free play panel. Now, I've already got something already pulled up. It's not exactly what you have, but it's going to be close enough to replicate what we need to do today. In this case, my panel is actually the CRJ 700 VFD. That's the program we use on the actual simulator in the labs for CRM. Your ethos program is going to show pretty much the same thing. There are going to be some slight differences right off the bat that you notice. You'll notice that you do not have a master caution or master warning lights, and you will not have the maintenance switch for the MFDs, and you do not have any flight controls. So this is not on your iPad or showing on your iPad. You do not need it. So we'll clear those out. Those are not on your iPad. The other differences that you'll see is I have a bunch of buttons at the top of my screen. You have some similar buttons, only they're located right over in this area on your iPad. There are 5 of those buttons. The top one is a question mark. The next one looks like a little rectangular box with some lines in it. And then you have an airplane that sits here. And then you have a snowflake. And finally, you have at the very bottom, you have what looks to be like a camera. So those are the five buttons that you're going to need to learn how they operate. I'm going to show you the same buttons. The question mark button up here, I do not have. This is for you. That is a little bit of a training course on how to use your free play system. So I implore that you should actually click on that at some point in time, not right now, but later on, and it will give you a tutorial on how to operate your free play aircraft. The next thing that you'll need to know how to know what it does is this button right here is what we call the sim control button. If you click on that, you will get a page that provides information on how to set up your simulator where to change locations, how to move it about the earth, etc. My button that simulates that is right here. The next button that you have is the acceleration button. This accelerates the aircraft through the program that you're operating. It doesn't actually make the airplane fly faster, but it does make the computer operate at an accelerated rate so that, say, for example, you need to move on, get to the next phase of training, you can push that button and the computer will spin up, get you to the next phase, and then you can click it off and slow back down again to normal speed. The snowflake button you have on your iPad is the freeze button. So my accelerate button, by the way, is right up here, and my freeze button is right here. What that does is it just stops the computer in its tracks, allows you to take a breath or take a snapshot, whatever it is you need to do, stop and come back and resume your training. So you'll be using that button quite a bit. I use it quite a bit when I'm teaching. And finally, the last button you have that's of importance is this little camera icon. That is what we call the snap icon. Mine is right here, and yours is right there. If I need to stop and take a picture of what I'm doing, I would push that button and actually load the Aerosim up as a snapshot, and it will actually load it exactly where you're at. And when you come back, you can download that snapshot and resume play on your free place Aerosim. So those are the buttons you're going to need to be familiar with. There they are. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that because we don't need it cluttering up our presentation today. So clear that and it's gone. Okay, now you see the differences between my VFD and your Aerosim free play program. Not that much different for the way that it is illustrated on the computer. The next thing I want to talk to you here real quick is that you'll need this dispatch release document. You'll need an ATIS and clearance and some other information that is on this page. Scrolling down, you'll see a final load sheet and some V-speeds. This information becomes a little bit important to us as we set our Aerosim up to make sure that it functions properly when we fly it around. So the first thing we'll do is we will go to for you, the sim control button is on the right. I've got to bring my sim control button into view. And yours will be a little bit more simple than this, but this is the sim control that I have that allows me to set the computer up. Yours is going to look a little different. What you'll see is the title sim control across the box. When you select it, you'll see aircraft, atmosphere, reposition. You'll see start engine align and ground reset button. And below the long blue line, you'll see gross weight, zero fuel weight, and fuel weight. So this is the information we need to load the your Aerosim up with so that it properly functions. Where are we going to get this information at? Well, we'll get it on the release. So let's scroll down to where it says final load sheet. So there's some numbers there that we're going to need to pick off and put into the program to make the program function properly. Well, I'm going to start right here where it says fuel, and it says the fuel is 9,990 pounds. You go go down to your fuel weight at the very bottom of your sim control window and put 9,990 into that window. I'm going to do it over here for me, right here on fuel weight, 9990. And I'm going to select OK. I'm also going to do it on my iPad just so I'm doing the same thing you're doing. And I'm going to put the numbers in there, 9990. And I'm done with that for now. The next thing we want to put in is your zero fuel weight. Here's where zero fuel weight is found on the document. It's 57760. So I'm going to look over here on mine. I'm going to put 57760 into the box, load that in, and I'm going to do the same thing on my iPad I have sitting off to the side. So 57760, and I'm done with that. And if you'll notice on your iPad, gross weight auto-populated to 67,750, and on mine it also auto-populated to 67,760. And if you check back over the document, it'll say gross weight 67,750 pounds. So now I have the gross weight of the aircraft in there. I have a fuel loading in there that's acceptable, and along with the zero fuel weight. All right, that's done. Now what we're going to do is you're going to go to the atmosphere button, click on the atmosphere, and you'll notice that your display changes somewhat. And it says outside air temperature is 13 degrees. Well, let's go over here to our document and see what the outside air temperature is in Salina, because we're going to depart Salina. And it says the temperature at Salina is 6 degrees. So we'll change our temperature to 6 degrees. I'm going to click on atmosphere. I'm going to put 6 degrees in, say OK, and I'm going to do the same thing down here on the iPad that I have in front of me. And I'm going to say 6 degrees, and that's done. All right. Now we need to reposition your simulator so that it is at Salina. All right. We'll go to, for me, my reposition tab is right here. In my case, it's already positioned at the Salina airport. You can see we have a select departure position and select arrival position. So I'm double checking to make sure my aircraft is at Salina. If I go to reposition on your sim control, you'll notice that you're probably located at the Atlanta airport. That's not where you want to be. So on your iPad, select that box and type in KSLN, select done, and now you will have your airport saying that you're at Salina. One more step, and this is very important. You have a runway and a gate where it says ramp box. So I don't want to be on the ramp. I want to be on the runway because we have no way to actually taxi around your Aerosim program. So make sure you click on the airplane that is sitting on the runway. When you do that, it will locate your airplane directly to the runway. And at the same time, we know that from our release document over here on the ATIS portion of it, it says that we're going to be taking off on runway 17 at Salina. So I'm going to go ahead and select 17 at this point in time, right there. And I'm going to say, OK. And we'll do the same thing on yours. Select 17, and then double click it again up on the runway just to make sure that you went to runway 17. All right, now we've got that done. You have pretty much set up your controls for the simulator. If you want to, you could go down here and change your arrival airport. I'm just going to go ahead and change mine. I'm going to say KDEN, and I'm going to go OK. On your arrival position down below, you can select KDEN also, and you'll be done. You might want to even put in the runway you're going to be using. In this case, Denver ATIS says that they're currently using runway 17 left and 17 right. So I'll go ahead and click that 17 left. I'm going to set OK on mine, and you can change your runway to 17 left also. Okay, that's done on your iPad. You have now set the iPad up for the flight that we're going to be doing today. This is not real stuff. This is all a simism. This is not what we're actually trying to teach you to do when you're flying the airplane. This is just simply to set the simulator up so that it plays correctly. Okay, get back to this view on your iPad, and we're going to double check something. I want you to go to this button, the index button, and verify on the position button on the MCDU here. You'll see there's a position button. We call this the L2 button. Click on that button. Verify that the airport says Salina on it. So when you go to that button, you will probably see that it still says Atlanta. So we need to correct that. However, the lat longs are pretty close. Actually, let's go ahead and change the lat longs. Let's go ahead and go on your iPad right here. Go down in your iPad alphabetic keys and click K, S, L, N. Click on that. And I'm going to do the same thing on my iPad. K, S, L, N. And I'm going to put that up there. And it should have changed the lat longs and made everything correct. That's the final thing you need to do to make sure that your iPad is properly set up so that it flies correctly so that we can teach the rest of the course. So get that all set up in your iPad. Try to get ready to go, because it's from this point forward that we're going to start having some fun. This was just the setup. So get it done, and we'll get back to you in the next video.